It really helps if you remove the graphic before you actually start. But good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It's Monday, ladies and gentlemen, which means we are on a video cast week. I am Tom Mosley, one of your hosts, helping everyone around the world to be empowered to use technology better. We represent Microsoft in the UK and joined, as always, by the wonderful Hannah Dethridge. Hannah, how are you?
Hello, Tom. You say as always. You didn't join me last time, did you?
But you always join me generally, so technically the statement's
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah, you just don't join me. I don't know how I feel about that. But I'm okay. Did
Yeah,
you ask me how I am? Doesn't matter
I
because
did.
I'm going to tell you that. Oh, okay. I'm okay. I'm doing well. I'm okay. I'm a bit tired. I've got tired eyes today, so I'm going to be doing this a lot so that I look really awake. I should have drawn on my eyelids. I should have done that trick.
There we
Student of
go.
mine.
Missed the trick. Missed the
Oh, I
trick.
did miss the trick. I did. I did. But are you okay, Tom? Are you doing well?
I am not too bad. As I said before, when we were in the green room beforehand, it feels like ages since I've done a video cast because we've both got some pretty cool news. Is we are both in new houses since I think
Yeah.
the last time I did video cast. I took a week off to move house. You wish you took a week off to move house, so yeah, it's all going on at the moment. It's all going on.
It is all going on. It's a good time to be alive. Hey,
It's
it's a
a
good
good time to
time.
be alive.
And it's really cool because everyone will see our setup transform and progress
Yeah.
over time. Like right now, I'm just like using things portably, but oh, then you'll see a microphone arm appear and you'll be like, that's new. And I'll be like, yeah, it is. So we've got all that to look forward to.
That we do. Yeah, I've still got like the pretty things to sort out in my office now, like hang some photos.
Yeah.
I've got a controller display that I want to sort out, and all those bits and pieces. So all the fun games to work out in the future, which will be cool. Which will
Hmm.
be cool, and you'll see that development as Hannah said, as the weeks go on.
Yes.
But we are live, which means we have people in chat. So I want to say a big hello to people. So we are live across Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So wherever you're watching us, thank you very much for joining. We've got Tashin over on Facebook. Hello to you. Thank you very much for joining. I may butcher the name here, but Fakar over on YouTube. Thank you very much for joining us. We've got the one and only Nigel Timms over on YouTube as well.
Hi, you guys.
Hi, you guys. And Wookie Webster 316 over on Twitch. Thank you very much for joining us. Guys, if you are watching, make sure you pop your comments into chat and we can give you guys a shout out, bring them onto screen. We've got plenty of things for you guys to be part of. But Hannah, what are we going to be talking about today?
I don't know. Did you tell me? Ha, yeah, you
I
did.
did.
Because I made the thumbnail, so I know exactly what we're going to be
Yeah, you
talking about.
did.
Fooled you. Shocks heck. Oh, God. What we're going to be talking about, and it's going to be a good one, because we're going to be talking about platform games, including Psychonauts games and the Psychonauts series. So there's going to be a lot to talk about, because platform games have been around for a long old time. And
Just a
I
little
think
bit.
we're all going to have a favorite. We're all going to have a connection with some kind of platform game. So it's going to be really, really cool. I'm excited.
Exciting times. But Hannah, it's not just going to be us talking because no one wants to see that. Who else do we have joining us if you didn't gather from the thumbnail?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Tom. So the first person we have joining us today is, drumroll please, it is the brilliant Ben. We've got Ben with us, the one and only.
Here he is.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. Just having a drink of water, getting aqua on the go.
Yeah, best to, get caught just drinking your water before you get introduced. Hello, people. Hi.
At least you're
I'm
keeping
back on
hydrated.
Videocast after like months.
You
Months.
are.
Hello,
You are,
everyone.
because the last one you did was the Star Wars one, where nobody else said anything because Sven's the biggest Star Wars fan in the universe. So let's see what you like with platform games. Hey.
No lies told. Well excited. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate to have you, mate.
One of the evangelists alongside my lovely colleagues, Mr. Mosley and the Dethridge.
And me, and her, and that one. Ben, have you moved house? Anything going on in your life?
No, as you guys are, moving into houses and getting new houses, I'm just excited. I've got a new camera lens. That's the level.
Oh, but it's the dream, isn't it? Like
Upgrade.
it is.
Upgrade.
It is. What have you gone for? What have you gone for?
I've gone for
Macro?
1.8. 85mm with the bokeh. So we're gonna try that out.
Oh, the
But
depth
later.
of field's going to be insane.
Oh man, product shots galore, just looking all extra creamy already. Oh, can't wait.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
That's a
no,
good bit of news.
that's kind of like I have something known as gas gear acquisition syndrome, and just buying new production gear is kind of like a pastime for me, and it's very, very draining to the money. But I love doing it when needed. So yeah, new
There we
lens
go.
and a new microphone coming today. Just saying.
I look forward to
Got a
seeing them,
question.
mate.
Yeah, we check out the YouTube channel, guys, and you'll see everything there. Wookie Webster's put a question in the chat for Ben.
Again. There you go.
What did Boba Fett call his daughter?
Oh my goodness, this is a joke.
It is a joke.
All right.
What's the answer, Wookie? We're
What's the
waiting.
answer? Go on.
We'll,
I'd
we'll
love to
wait
hear
We
and
will
see.
wait for Wookiees.
We will wait and see. Oh, here we go. It's in. It's in. A Mandalorian.
I don't get the joke.
Oh, okay.
Mandalorian! Come on!
Mandalorian.
Oh, there we go. I got it.
Even I got that. I got it.
I was
That's a good
reading it
one. That's
going,
good.
I don't get it. I was like, and then as soon as you said it out loud, I was like, okay, there we go. There we go.
Lovely.
Well done,
Right.
Wookie.
Shall we get our last guest in? He's sitting
Please
so
do.
patiently in the green room.
He's also. Oh, look! I like this. I like this. We've got the brilliant Ben. Well, it's only right that we have the magnificent Matt in as well.
Here he is.
Also,
he did it as well.
Also hydrating. Also
thirsty
hydrating.
right now. This is killing me.
I didn't want
My
to leave him on
water's
his
not in
own.
reach. How are you, Matt? Welcome.
I'm good. I was hydrating as well. I didn't want to leave Ben on his own. So,
Appreciate it.
although I just want to say mine's bigger than yours. So, there you go. We'll leave it at that. I'm good. How is everybody today? Everybody good? Warm, cold, wet,
Bit warm.
Hydrated.
I'm not
hydrated?
hydrated.
How excited
Bit
are you
warm.
guys about living in your new places, by the way?
I'm pretty
Yes,
hyped.
yeah. It's the first time that I've like well and truly lived on my own. So I think I'm on a journey of self-discovery. I think
There
we'll
we
just
go.
see as each video cast comes along, and I get more and more. I don't know, crazy. You'll know how it's going.
And
We'll just,
you
every
said
time we
about
speak to
your,
Hannah on a phone call.
Yeah. You said about your setups as well. They're going to progressively get like more and more staff and things in the background. What I will say is my setup now is like six months old ish now, and as you may have noticed on my socials over the weekend, I'm still adding stuff, now, and it's like I'm running out of room. So you're going to have that problem very, very soon.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Exciting.
We'll wait and see.
It
We'll wait
will.
and
It's
see.
because it's because we're a bunch of nerds. Like, it's not just like getting stuff that works. It's then celebrating stuff that works, getting more stuff that represents that stuff that works. So whatever you've got, it's then, oh, let's get a figurine that actually represents that too, and a t-shirt, and then the cap, and then the chair that's branded, and it just keeps going. So
Never ends. It never stops. And then when
exciting
as time goes on, we go, oh no, I'm just going to put that away and then get a new thing, and it just cycles. It cycles. Oh dear. Yeah, Games Guru saying the N7 helmet in Tom's case. I'm still waiting for mine to arrive. I've seen friends have received theirs from the Mass Effect Legendary crate, and I'm still waiting for my delivery notification. But it will happen, and it will be over socials when it happens. If you do want to see us on our social accounts over on Instagram, all of our handles are on screen in our little boxes. Feel free to go over if you don't already and give us a follow. See what we get up to on a daily basis. So there we go. Yes, I did update my address, Wookie. I did. I contacted them and said, please change my address. I can't miss this. But anyway, it is the videocast. So we have Hannah's favorite part of the show. It isn't introducing the guests. As much as we love the guests, Hannah's favorite part of the show is, ladies and gentlemen,
Quick fire questions.
there we go.
It's so good. It's
You've
so
already
good.
pre-warned us. You've already pre-warned us to some of these, right? Because they're not exactly short. They're not quick fire questions today, are they?
I have. My internet's dipping. I'm sorry, guys.
It's all good.
No, so I've got 3 medium fire questions, I would say. And this is definitely, if anybody didn't know, the part of the show where we can get to know our guests a little bit more and get to know you guys a little bit more. So if you have any answers to the quick fire questions, please put them in the chat so we can celebrate them and shout them out and concur and converse and bond as one. So, are you ready for this week's quick fire questions?
Go for it.
All platform game related, I must say. Also, very branded pen, so you'll just see me just flicking it around because that's the kind of person I am. So, if you were in a platform game, and I'm going to start with I'm going to start. So we'll go in the order of me, Matt, Ben, and Tom. Me, Matt, Ben, and Tom. Me, Matt, Ben, and Tom. Okay, me, Matt, Ben, and Tom. If you're in a platform game, would you want your character to be a tiny version of you, or a specific creature of some kind that embodied your spirit and it was still you, but it wouldn't look like you? Or would you want it to be like just a little version of you? That's the question. To which I have answered. And the reason that I'm going first is because these questions are all weird. So let me take the lead on the answers. I would like to be a pigeon. So a little tiny pigeon, but with my hair. So like a pigeon with red hair that just kind of shimmied around. I'd really like that. Just like a real commoner.
All of the things that I thought you were going to say then, that was not one of them.
It's as common as you can get, just this pigeon, but with red hair, with this barnet.
Hannah, once you've got your setup done, you need to draw that. Get your Surface Pen out and draw that and get it done.
I will. I'll put it on Instagram. I will.
Do it.
Surely if you've got a bird with hair, like pigeon, obviously, but with hair, it would be mistaken for another red-headed sort of chickeny cockerel type thing, would it not?
Because you know a pigeon when you see a pigeon. You know,
Okay.
we all do. They're all just plump birds that are a bit that probably have like.
Just let this be known as well. This is a new record. This is a new record for Videocast that Hannah's made me laugh within the first question.
Yay!
First one.
Goals.
Well, Matt, it's your turn next. Please tell us.
I don't want to go now because I can't beat a pigeon. Well, I don't want it to be. I'm for platformers. I am all about a small creature of some kind, right? So. I don't want it to be human. I don't want it to be me. I want it to be something that I can fall in love with, that I want to go woodgy to, but it's also really cool, right? Do you know what I mean? So, pigeon? A pigeon. It has to be. I'm afraid I'm going to have to go, I would like a pigeon, but with my hair.
There you go. So it's just a standard pigeon.
I just want a bald pigeon.
Just a standard pigeon. Cool.
I don't know. I quite like. It's been done, but I quite like foxes and things like that. So I think
furry creatures,
or a little wolf or something. That'd be quite cool. Do you know what? I haven't played Biomutant to answer Games Guru's question.
Good.
I haven't played it yet.
Worth a play.
Does look good though. Yeah. Who's next? Is it Ben?
Ben's next.
I'm still just stuck. Like, I'm still laughing so much in my head. Hannah, you fully just destroyed me. It's so good. I can
imagine a little Ben though. I could imagine a little Ben. I think a little Ben would be kick-ass, just like running around with like a lightsaber, doing the platforms and stuff. That'd be wicked.
She's answered it. You've gone and answered it.
Sorry,
I've gone and answered it. You know why? I thought I was going to stand by the fact that I feel like platforms are best with weird creatures, whether known creatures or made up creatures. But no, I'm going to go for a miniature version of myself with a lightsaber just going about.
Yeah, there you go. Amazing.
It sounds like the platform game that deserves to be made now.
Well, Lucas Games, if you're listening, we have an actor lined up for you.
Yeah. Next question then, quickly. Sorry to add my own question. Cloak or no cloak?
What was that?
Cloak or no cloak? Have you got a cloak on, or have you got no cloak?
Oh, of course, man. Cloak for sure.
Okay, good. That's it. Cleared it up.
The platforms would be like camera lenses, different camera lenses that you have to jump on and jump over. That's the thing.
To be honest, how do you won today? Like I still feel flawed. I still feel like I need more laughter to come out. The minute you said pigeon, that's it. I was gone. Lost it.
Don't know.
I'm making
good.
a note because I'm gonna draw this. I'm gonna draw
Oh,
Ben's
mate.
platform character and mine. Okay.
Yeah, but for the ones that don't know, she's prolific at drawing and Photoshop, so this will get done. I know it. Once there's free time and Hannah's mindset of I'm doing it, it's game over. Watch
Scott?
her stories as it just explodes as well.
It's going to be
What's
good.
happening?
I think for me, I would combine mine. So I'd have a small version of me, but with the like power of Rayman. So like my hands aren't attached to my body, and they just kind of
Okay.
float around, and I make weird sounds when I get hit. And
Just kind of answered another question, but that's fine. Don't worry.
no, we're not prepared. Hannah, you don't prepare us. So yeah, I would probably do that and have a miniature version of me with the powers of Rayman, and I could like throw my fists really far and grab ledges and grab little bulbs to swing across and all that sort of stuff.
Rayman, dude,
There you go. So that'd be me, miniature version of me.
Amazing.
that's a good one. That's actually
Thank you. That was question number one.
that's a
Thank you.
Clap for us all. We did good. Look at me. I'm like a news reporter. Ooh. Question number two. Okay, now stay with me for this one, everybody. Imagine
Okay.
somebody comes into the room that you're in right now. Someone's come in, someone's opened the door like bang, didn't ask a question, didn't knock the door, just appeared, bang, I'm in. And they've got a machine that shrinks you, so they've shrunk you as you are right now into tiny little tiny you. Describe the platforms around you that you'd have to jump on to get out of the room.
I like this question.
Everyone's now looking around. Like, what have I got?
For example, I'll go first. So for me, I'd jump onto the radiator, and my socks are on the radiator, so I'd have to try and do a like double jump over each sock, and then I'd jump onto the window ledge, and then I'd have to jump over my glass of water that is on the window ledge that I can't reach right now, and then I'd have to do some like, do you know where you go from one wall to the other wall and you do this? I'd have to do that across the wall. And then it'd be the plugs and going over the plugs. I'd have to go all the way up the plug line, and then I'd be able to get up and out of the door. So that would be mine.
That's epic. This is a really, really good question. Really good question.
Thank you. Matt, what's yours?
Right, without because this room is just full of stuff I cannot talk about.
Okay.
And there's all sorts, right?
Things you can.
So, right. So I've shrunk here. This is what we're talking about, right?
Yeah, you've shrunk.
Right here. I'd have to climb the desk leg, right? You know, like Banjo Kazooie, where he climbs around a tree. Yeah, I'd have to do that, get to the top here, and then I've got like shelves that go up to the ceiling there, and on each shelf there is a helmet. That's all I'm going to say of a particular character. I'd have to go around there, up there, then I'd hop from hexagon shelf to hexagon shelf.
Yes.
Right, I would then drop down onto a spaceship that I cannot mention. Right, I traverse the spaceship to the window ledge. Yeah, up over a canvas that is again cannot mention. All the way around to this corner here, and then I'd get into a fight with anybody that's on these shelves over here. Right.
Yeah.
Kinds of there'd be fisticuffs going on and all that kind of stuff, you know, bouncing on heads and Rayman chucking things like Tom said, and then I'd have to jump from this platform here, run and jump to the door handle there, swing and open the door.
Swing, yes.
Escape complete.
That was a good one. Ben, talk us through it.
man.
Talk us through your
This is good.
platform.
This is a good one. In my particular situation, I would have to climb past 3 C stands because they just mountain here everywhere. It's like a circus contraption. Thinking of being a miniature version of myself, onto the light stand. Then I would have to hop onto the monitor, literally climb down onto the radiator, and then literally just through the window. That's
Oh, window escape!
Yeah.
Amazing.
has to be a
That's
window escape.
incredible. Oh god, I literally passed the window to get to the door. Why did I do that?
I bypassed mine. I actually went to the windowsill. I could have got out there.
Yeah, it's
Oh
exactly
man,
what I could have done.
I
Oh well.
thought it has to be a different escape, and I'm like, the window's open right now in this current situation. That is the place of escape.
Amazing. Tom, talk us through your platform game.
So, to follow Matt and do the scenic route, I know it's blurred, but I've got a bookshelf up here full of a variety of different collectibles. And the ones that I'm actually probably really scared about is the Witcher 3 statue of Geralt taking on a griffin.
Oh no, no.
That would be petrifying, having to get past that. But yeah, multiple tea mugs and glasses of water to negotiate through first. Making sure I don't fall in, otherwise I'm going to be trapped forever. So those double jumps over the tea mugs. Heading through a multitude of built collectibles, so you can judge by what type of brick that might have been built out of. Scaling down there, underneath the carpet, underneath the rug, trying to avoid the dog, because
Of course.
my dog will eat anything, and that includes me, especially in miniature form. So yeah, avoid the dog at all costs. Ever remember that old board game? Oh, I say old board game, it's probably reasonably newish in the standard of board games, called Don't Wake Dad.
No.
It's a really weird board where you got to traverse around a board, and if you land on a square, you have to press like the alarm button like X amount of times, and the alarm goes off at a random press. And you've basically got to get all the way to the other end of the board without waking up Dad. And that's what I'd have to do with my dog, is don't wake the dog.
Don't wake up, dog.
Don't wake up, dog. Yeah, a multitude of used mugs and glasses, an array of collectibles, and then avoiding the dog. That would be have to be my escape.
Sounds good. Amazing.
I think we
really
just made a game.
We did well.
This is
I really
grounded, but inside the house, not in the garden.
Yeah, with a pigeon. I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed Wookie Webster's. We've got an absolute look into his setup there and what's going on, all the cables and the phone holder and the robotic arm. And then I like that Derek's just said that he needs to squeeze past his Luke's head, which is wicked.
Other
So
energy
thank
drinks
you,
are
guys.
available.
Thank you. Other energy drinks are available. Okay, you ready for my third question? They all tie in together. So we've had
Go for
what
it.
character would be. We'd have our actual platforms and what it looks like right now. And our third one that I've had to change slightly is, if we think about Raz, the main character in Psychonauts, he has psychic abilities, right? So what would your ability be? Or if you've already answered that question, what would your... How have I written this down? What would your floating loot be? So that thing that you have to jump up to actually catch and grab. And well, you could say both, but mine, for example, did I write this down? Oh yeah, so I've written it. I put mine, for example, would probably be the ability to use my tongue to stick to things, like going Goat Simulator when you've got a really long tongue, so that I could stick to the wall and kind of like shimmy around or spin around or something like that. And also that my tongue, it would change color when enemies are nearby. That's what I put.
Like it.
This is all. Someone will find this one day and be like, "What?
What was going on in Hannah's head?"
The tongue dictator, I think.
Yeah,
The tongue dictator.
exactly. That would be mine.
You're naming it now. We're naming it.
We are naming
it.
it. And my loot would be cookies, 100%. I'd have to reach up.
Oh yeah, that's a good shout. Oh, that's interesting. Now I've changed my loot now.
What have you going for then, Matt?
Right, so my special power would be, it's not really a platform game, but kind of ties in a little bit. It was, do you remember Brutal Legend, where he would play guitars? He would play guitars, right? To take down enemies. I'd want to go around with a massive microphone and then scream at them. Like just sing at people to knock them off the shelves and stuff. That'd be cool.
That'd be
and
wicked.
my loot would be peanut butter cups.
Okay.
Fancy.
It's one of those things. If you
Someone's
put
doing
if you put a peanut butter cup on the side, it's like
It's gone.
I can't look at I can't look at it without going, oh look, there's a gorilla over there.
Yeah.
What peanut butter cup?
Don't know what you're talking about, mate.
Yeah.
How about yourself, Ben?
Oh man. So we'll give a slight insight. Am I allowed two? Oh, I'm gonna go for two.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
do it.
So probably gives a slight indication of one of my favorite platform games, but anti-gravity boots.
Like it?
Yeah,
Cool.
because it's just gonna be hard to like get me when I can run up walls just and just upside down.
Mm-hmm.
And then the main special power is just turn you into cute little chickens or chicks, just
Or pigeons?
harmless, harmlessly, like a transforming gun, just a big enemy. Boom! Just change.
That's a great idea.
Yeah,
Guys,
animal transforms like cute and harmless. That's
after
like
the
my
video
favorite.
cast, can we all just get together and start like making this a reality?
Making a
'Cause
video
I think
game.
we've got a game here. This is wicked. I'd
should do
love
it.
to
I think we
see
should do it.
that little chicks. Oh, and they just all,
Yeah,
they all
honestly,
just
just
float down.
transform into little
Oh, that'd be
like,
amazing.
it's like, oh, and you thought you were all big and scary. Now you're just cute and just.
Oh.
There's a sound
That's my
effect.
idea.
There is a sound effect as well.
Gotta have a sound effect.
Yep. In terms of loot, oh my goodness, what would be my loot? Chocolate bars. Don't know why.
Standard. We're
Any
all
chocolate bar.
particularly
Yep.
craving the sweet stuff at the minute, by the looks of it.
Yep. Has to be chocolate bars. That's my loot.
Like it.
Sue me. Well, you can't, but sue me anyway.
I've already kind of discussed my superpower of obviously Rayman-esque, being able to like throw my fists to grab stuff and get across ledges, take out enemies. I think why I picked Rayman, I love the sound of when he gets hit and he loses loses a heart or anything like that. It's that sound that he makes, I think, is so iconic, which drew me to Rayman. Regarding the things that my loot would be, and I think this could tie in quite well for an Xbox game, is you're collecting coins, but the coins are the gamer score. So there are 1,000 coins in the game, and you've got to collect,
That's
and you've got to
wicked.
collect the gamer score coins in order to get 1,000 G.
That's good.
I have
like
a question. I have a question on the gamer score thing. I think that's a great idea, but would you get the notification every time? Would it be like one gamer score and then achievement box at the bottom for every single one?
Every single one is 1G. Every single one.
Yeah, that's cool.
I like that.
So yeah, that would be me. Rayman with gamer score coins. Because I love my achievements. Always chasing achievements.
I would just like to say that I really enjoyed today's quick fire questions. So, well, medium fire questions.
Medium fire
And
questions.
I'd like an outro now, please, Tom.
I have an outro for you, Hannah.
Quick fire questions.
There we go. Thank you very much, Hannah.
You're welcome.
So to move on to our main topic of conversation, Hannah mentioned it at the beginning, talking all around kind of the platform genre, specifically around kind of Psychonauts, because we have got Psychonauts 2 coming out on August 25th. So we have less than a month to wait until it comes out. And if you haven't played or haven't heard of Psychonauts before and you have Game Pass, Psychonauts 2 is going to be launching day and date onto Game Pass. And also you can play the first Psychonauts game on Xbox, PC, or Android or iOS devices with cloud gaming as well. So no excuse, jump back, play the original, and we'll talk a little bit more about the original in a bit. But I have a quick fire question for everybody. Very, very quickly, do you know what a platformer game has to have in it in order to be classified as a platformer?
Platform.
Wow, that's actually a good question.
There is a specific thing that you have to be able to do as a character in order for a game to be classed as a platformer.
Double jump.
Get from A to B. I mean, that's every game ever, so I don't know what that was.
So
Double jump has to be it.
Ben's going double jump.
I'm gonna go jump too. Like it has to be jump.
Okay.
Like from one platform to another, it has to be.
Wookie
Okay.
Webster says collectibles and jumps.
Collectibles and jumps.
James Guru says trick question. For some reason, you and Greg are in cahoots about your own quickfire questions, and I'm really upset about it. So whatever, it doesn't react like that to my questions, but never mind. Platform, something to do with platforms, I would say, and distance.
Okay. So, Matt, you've actually said it. Ben, you went double it. So, your character has to be able to jump in order for the game to be classed as a platformer. If your character can't jump, it can't be classed as a platformer. Now, that is the majority of games. Obviously, you're talking when platformers like the 80s are when 2D platformers kind of got released. So it's been 30 years of gaming. Is that right? Is that my maths right? No, 40 years of the 80s. Oh God, I know I feel old. So you have to be able to jump. I was looking up this earlier, and yeah, you have to be able to jump. And obviously, there are loads more to it. There are collectibles, as you said, is getting from A to B, as you said, Hannah. You're traversing through a world and levels and stuff like that, and finding collectibles, as Wookie said. But yeah, at the base level, you have to be able to jump. So there you go. There's a little nugget of information for you.
So The Witcher
that is a
3 is
good
a platform game.
There you go. Platform games were kind of, in my opinion, platform games were like the original games, right? Like I think that's what my earliest memories of gaming is those platforms.
Yeah.
I think for me, that's where it kind of came from. But probably another question I have for you guys is, what are your kind of earliest memories of like platformer games? Like if you think back to kids, to being kids, like what were your go-to platformer games? What are your kind of memories? Let's go, Hannah, Ben, Matt, and then I'll go.
Well, strap yourselves in, kiddos, because I'm going to tell you a story. So
Okay.
for me, when I was thinking about this, I was thinking about not being a kid and being a kid, but not being like really young and being at home. I was about when I was getting most excited about platform games and when I was driven to play platform games. And that's when I was at school, because I remember like there's loads, I don't know what it's like now because I'm just not at school now, but oh God, it's so old. It's horrible. But when I was back in the day when I was at school, geez, there was in the IT department there was loads of, but in the other departments there wasn't. So in the art department there was 3 computers, and I remember when I'd finished my artwork and I'd done everything, I'd just jump on the computer and like beaver away and see what there was, and I'd either be watching YouTube videos and whatever, or I'd play Meat Boy.
Yeah.
And I was obsessed with Meat Boy, and this was the original Meat Boy, so this was 2008. Meat Boy, it wasn't Super Meat Boy, which then got created. There was 4 levels. It was still the same kind of concept. So Meat Boy, if you haven't played it, he's a cube of meat with a face, and his girlfriend is Bandage Girl, and she's a cube of bandages with a face. And he has to go through the different worlds and battle different people to get his girlfriend back because she got kidnapped. And everyone was obsessed with Meat Boy at school. It's all everyone used to play, and you could just see it on all the computers, everyone. And it was very time sensitive. Like you had to time things properly, or you just couldn't get where you need to go. And now
it's not an easy game either.
no, it's not. And Super Meat Boy really took off afterwards. There's certain people that developed Meat Boy went on to develop Super Meat Boy, and that won awards like for being a really, really good game. So there you go. That is my story. It was Meat Boy. Back
Meat
in
Boy,
the
there we
day.
go.
2008.
Way back when, all those years ago.
Oh, it's horrible.
I have to say as well, I think Meat Boy, that's an extreme platformer, right? That's
Can
like.
I say one more thing? It was a Flash game. Do you remember going on a browser and it's having to enable Flash to be able to play the game? That's what Meat Boy was.
There we go. The
Sorry,
memories.
Matt, carry on. Yeah, the memories. Flash game. Sorry, Matt. Please continue.
No, that's fine. It's fine. Is it my go next?
Ben's
No, it's
go
not
next.
me. No. Ben's go.
It's got to be the Italian plumber.
Italian plumber.
Yes.
Like, kid you not, with those early systems, like they were just the definition of platforms. Like hearing the soundtrack as well, just knowing that Mary just seriously, it's the you said it so right. Platform games are defined by not just the jumps, because that used to fascinate me as a kid. I was like, I'm controlling someone to jump. He's at my will. I love this. I have the
Yeah.
power. I don't know. It's such
So
a
Ben has a
simple
power
thing.
complex. Okay, we know that much.
Yeah, no, it does. It does. You know, as a kid, it's like you went from I'm being bossed to I'm bossing someone else, and it's in my hands. This is so cool, and timing, like platform games, the addictive part of it was getting jumps and timings wrong because there's a fireball just going around and like, whatever it is, it would get on your nerves so much. It's like, I need to crack it. And it used to just really just teach you how to like be patient, go for it when you need to go for, wait. It's like all those little things. It was just so good. So that's like my earliest memory of how platform games made me feel. And I feel like those are the foundation of gaming originally for me, and I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
I think you hit the nail on the head there as well with platformer games, and it teaches you to have patience.
Yeah.
Like you can't just run, jump. You got to time your enemies, time the jumps, and to plug something else that we've done in the past as a team, as we also do bi-weekly podcasts. And a couple of episodes ago, we did Gamers to Leaders with one of our other colleagues, Alicia. And she talks about how you can take skills from video games and adapt them into real life. And I think platform gaming teaches patience, and that's a really good quality to have within the real world as well. So yeah, just to plug our In the Loop podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts.
Yay! You say that, but then I think it's taught me that I'm not a patient person. That's what it's taught me. It's not taught me patience. It's taught me that I am not patient, because sometimes on some games, especially like Spyro, and I would say Spyro is a platform game as well. Spyro's hard. There's some bits of Spyro that are hard. Anyway,
Sorry,
do continue.
Matthew.
Yes.
Where are you going
I feel
back to?
old.
You're feeling old?
I feel old. Yeah. I saw somebody mention Spectrum ZX in in the chat, and I was gonna talk about Alex the Kid from the Master System, and then somebody mentioned the ZX, and then I had a flashback of memories. I can remember a game. I don't know if anybody else can. Probably about 1986, 7, when I was really young. My dad worked for a company way back when that was into IT and coding and stuff like that. And there was a game that he had on the Commodore 64 and it literally was called Jumpman.
Inventive.
But it was a platformer where you would jump over eggs. It was before Mario. It was before all that. You jumped over eggs. You had spears that you could chuck, go up ladders, and then that kind of progressed into another game that I used to play called Pitfall.
Yes, I remember Pitfall.
And again, played that originally on the 64. So yeah, wow, that's bringing back all kinds of memories, and tapes loading and going and have to wait for dinner while you've waited for your tape to load. You've died. You've rewound the tape. You've loaded the tape again, and then you've died in the exact same space.
And you do it all over again. Patience, Matt. It's all about patience.
Patience. Yeah. So I can remember. Yeah, Commodore 64. That was a big one for me. Jumpman, Pitfall, those kind of things. Yeah.
Like it. I think, kind of looking back at mine, the first platformer I ever played was Tomb Raider.
Wow. Okay.
Of course.
And that was my first games console, was the original PlayStation, and yeah, Tomb Raider was the first game that I ever got. And I remember opening up the game before I opened up the console on Christmas Day, and having to tell my mum that I didn't have the console. And she was like, "Oh, I'll take the game back. Don't worry, I'm really sorry. I thought you already had it." And then, like 5 presents later, opening up the console and her going, "Do you want me to take the game back?" I'm like, "No, it's mine."
That's so sneaky.
That's cute.
That's so sneaky.
Yeah, Tomb Raider was the first platformer I ever played, but the one I probably have the most memories for, and I still do this to this day, was with Crash Bandicoot. And me and my sisters, every time you died or you completed a level, you passed the controller down the line. And you just basically, that's how you played the game, is if you died, you passed the controller on, you waited your turn again. If you completed a level, you passed the controller on. And that's how I still play Crash Bandicoot. And most platformers now, to be fair, is like when I play with my wife is, okay, yeah, I've died, you'll go, see if you can teach me how to do it type stuff. So yeah, that's my fondest memory of platformers, is playing Crash Bandicoot with my sisters. And yeah, just playing together, even though they were single player games.
Has anyone played Cuphead?
Yeah, love Cuphead.
Love Cuphead.
Because Cuphead's another one that teaches you a few skills. My life.
I've heard
It's
Cuphead
hard.
is difficult. Like,
Yeah.
It is very difficult.
It is.
I'm scared to
It
touch
is.
that game just for hearing every single reviews. It's difficult. Yeah, cool. Thanks, no thanks.
It's the fact that I've watched speedrunners play that game and they just like blitz through the bosses, and I'm like, how? Like there's
Technique.
like that.
There's a way to do it.
They're just better gamers than I am. There we go. You don't have to say it, Hannah. Just technique said it all. But no, it's interesting to see how platformers have come along, because you kind of, when I think back to older games, I think, oh yeah, those games were like 50 years old and stuff like that. And it's like, well, really, video games haven't been around that long, really, if you really kind of think about it. As I said, like 2D platformers were the 80s, 3D platformers came into kind of the mid 90s. And like since then, I've said my first platformer was Tomb Raider, but I've gone back and played the kind of retro games since then. Is like I've said after your earliest memories, do you have a favorite platformer? Do you have your go-to platformer game?
It's two of them for me. Definitely Jak and Daxter. I think Jak and Daxter just gets so overlooked. It frustrates me how that hasn't carried on in some capacity, or haven't had like that fresh remake or remaster like what Crash Bandicoot had. Because I know Crash Bandicoot, like for the modern day, pretty much gets the go-to next to Spyro. But I think Jak and Daxter, that relationship, especially Jak 2, when Jak started talking, because the first game he didn't talk, it was only Daxter that talked. And then all of a sudden, the second game, Renegade, he started talking. And then Jak 3, where he had the dark and the light eco, and he could slow down time. And it was just so good at different weapons. So Jak and Daxter, such an underrated series. Love that one. And then it's got to be the Lombax. It's just got to be the Lombax. Like, live through Ratchet and Clank, man. So for me, those two are at heart the go-to.
I like it.
Shall I go
Have a
next?
favorite? Yeah, go for it.
I would say Ratchet, but for me, it's got to be Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh, strong
Banjo-Kazooie. Purely because it was prominent in my life at the time. I had a Nintendo 64. It was one of the first 3D platformers I played. The second one was also good. Then they not remastered them. They remade. No, they did remaster them. It wasn't a remake, was it? But then they did bring out Nuts and Bolts as well, which was a 360 game. Yeah. And they just changed it up again. So, but the cool thing with that is obviously I've got all those memories now, but now I've got a 4-year-old who is in love with Banjo-Kazooie as much as I was.
Yeah.
I wasn't 4 at the time, but she, like, all she wants to do is play Banjooie. Like, Daddy, can we play Banjooie? Daddy, can we play Banjooie? So for me, and watching her experience it and playing together with her, that's the ultimate platformer, I would say.
Sharing that gaming knowledge, mate. Sharing that gaming knowledge. Hannah, how about yourself?
It's hard to pick. I think when we first started doing the videocast, and I still got the first games I've ever played, there was Jackrabbit 2 that I mentioned, and I just love that game. And that will always hold a place in my heart, where you jump on turtles and like shoot weird things and bats and stuff. I love Ori because it's Ori and it's beautiful and it's a beautiful game. And I think sometimes when I don't know what to play and I just want to relax, I stick Ori on, and it's just a wicked game. But then I get annoyed because I can't double jump at a certain point, and then I'm like, no. And Spyro. Oh, there's so many because platform. There's like It Takes Two. It Take Two is a brilliant game, and it's a
Man.
platform game, and it's so different
Big.
to any other platform game that I've ever played. And it's amazing, and that's like one where you actually shrunk in your environment, and then you just jumping over everything that you can see. There's so many good platform games, and they're really adventure filled, and they're really experience, and they're fantasy, and I like them. But I can't pick.
Story as well.
Can't pick. It is difficult. There are so many games out there.
Oh my god! Sorry, Wookie said Sonic, and like Sonic's incredible as well, and Shadow the Hedgehog was great too. Sorry.
There are loads of games, and we could spend all day like reeling off and reminiscing. And this is not coincidental at all to why I'm talking about this game, but I vaguely remember some news about it recently. And that's an original Xbox title of Blink's the Time Sweeper. I don't know if anyone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that as a kid, playing on the Xbox and playing Blinks. And funny enough, today it's launched into Game Pass as a backwards compatible, available on cloud and console. I was like, I remember seeing the news last week and going, oh, I remember playing that. I remember such fond memories of it. And I thought, oh, while we're on Videocast, I'll quickly check to see what that news was. But yeah, today it's come to Game Pass, which is really, really
That's
cool.
awesome.
So I'm definitely going to be booting that up again. Yeah, I personally believe a criminally underrated platformer game. But yeah, I had a load of fun with it. Reversing time, you've got a kind of vacuum cleaner, and you can reverse time, speed up time, and pause time, and stuff like that. Great game. Absolutely phenomenal.
Well, let's talk about the game that we're supposed to be talking about, shall we?
That's what a wonderful segue into what our main topic is around Psychonauts. So what's quite interesting is earlier on, Matt, you mentioned Brutal Legend. And
and I was just the whole time been thinking about this now because I didn't make the connection, and then when I talked about it, I went, oh, "It is. It
works really well."
Yeah.
So yeah, Psychonauts is made by the wonderful mind that is Tim Schafer, who heads up Double Fine Studios, who are part of the Xbox family of studios as well, making Psychonauts 2. Now, do you guys like cliffhangers at the end of films, at the end of games, anything like that? Are you a fan? Do you like the way those games or films end, or TV shows?
For me, I think it depends, because you can easily ruin a well-loved series or film or game by pushing it too far. So sometimes a cliffhanger can help, but then if you look at like My Name is Earl or something like that, and you're just like, why did you tear me apart like that? I don't understand. So it depends.
It does depend. The reason I mention it is that Psychonauts 1, available now on Game Pass, released in 2005. That's 16 years ago. They ended that game on a massive cliffhanger. And they have waited 16 years to solve that cliffhanger and to re-release another game. And I just think, for people that played the original way back then or have played the original recently, and obviously it's less so for people that have played it recently because it is that kind of cliffhanger element. You haven't got long to wait, only got a month to wait for the next one. What a way to keep kind of a fan base going, you know what, there might be another game, but as the years go on, it kind of goes, no, it's not going to happen anymore. It's not going to happen anymore. And then a couple of years ago, it got announced. Like, have you guys experienced Psychonauts before?
Spoilers, Tom.
Yeah, I have. And see, Psychonauts for me was, again, a big Tim Schafer fan from way back when. He did a lot of point and click titles, weird and wonderful titles back in, like, I think Wookie just mentioned it, Full Throttle, one of my favorites of all time. So for me, as soon as I saw his name attached to something, I was like, I'm going to play this game, right? So I played the game, and like you say, 16 years is a long time. And and I kind of just forgot about it. But I was following the news and trying to figure out, and I'm pretty sure that Tim Schafer wanted to make a sequel. He wanted to finish it off. I know that, but because it was a little bit ahead of its time and it was a bit weird and wonderful and a bit strange, people couldn't get their head around it, so nobody was willing to put money on it. So Tim Schafer's probably just been sat there the entire time going, I need to tell the world what's going on, and the cliffhanger and all that kind of stuff. And that's exactly how I feel as well. It's like every time I think about it, it almost hurts my feelings, and I'm like, I need to know now. So for me, Psychonauts is probably one of the biggest cliffhangers. There are other games, more recent ones, I Am Alive being one of them. I don't know if you remember I Am Alive on the 360. Massive cliffhanger at the end. And I want to know what happens to the people. It really, really hurts me. But now with this, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and we're going to see Psychonauts 2. So I'm very, very excited.
Good. I'm glad, Matt. I'm glad. Ben or Hannah, you experienced it?
I think it makes sense what Matt said about it being ahead of its time, and it is wacky and it is wonderful. And then there's this character development of the main character that is battling their own personal demons as well, and that's not something you really saw as much then as you do now. I mean, there's so many different topics that are touched on throughout, like a personal experience or mental health or anything like that is in the games today. So it makes sense that it would fit in society more so today, but it should have back then. It 100% still should have, but it makes sense that, now finally it's come to fruition. It'll be exciting.
So what draws you to Psychonauts, Hannah? Like I said, you haven't had a chance to play them before.
The weird stuff. That's what I mean. I love it. I love like anything that is because I'm quite arty anyway, and the stuff that I draw and the stuff that I paint, I can draw stuff that's normal, but I can draw stuff that's like just shapes and psychedelic stuff. I love that, and to see that in a game, I think that's great, and I'm really, really intrigued. Take me on an adventure. Let me escape reality. I don't want it to be real. I want it to be weird. Take me there.
I think that's perfect. What you just said is perfect because it's more it's like everything else, right? It's more acceptable now to make a game that is quirky, right? Back in the day, you'd make a game that was quirky, but nobody would ever want to play it, right? It would be people going, it's not blue and it ain't Mario. Do you know what I mean? So if it was a cute Sonic the Hedgehog, they go, I'll play that. Do you know what I mean? Because it was just, that was acceptable, and that's what video games was. It was just like kids that would sit in front of a game that looked like a cartoon, and then they get to the end and they'd be happy. But because it's a bit more quirky and you get away with more and different like styles and genres that pique people's interests. There's just so much to sort of get your head around and play, and that's what it is. It's like it fits now. Even back when it was released 16 years ago, I don't think it fit very well.
Yeah, I think if you look at games like We Happy Few and things like that, where you're trying to get out of this sort of system that you've been put in, I think that correlates as well, because you've got this character that's trying to join the Psychonauts, and it's like this force and this. And it was just way ahead of its time for what it was. But I love that. I think that's wicked, and I'm glad. I'm honestly so happy that they've been able to bring it back. And I can only imagine the amount of people that when it got announced who were like, because 100%. Nobody expected that.
So I didn't get to experience Psychonauts. Out of all the platform games, like that's the one I did not get to experience. So it brings a different perspective when you talked about cliffhangers, because I would be annoyed. I would be very much annoyed. I said no, like that's nah. Especially like if it's a major cliffhanger as well.
Mm-hmm.
But what I am seeing online is people are still saying, and I'm talking about videos from literally a month ago. They're saying like 16 years later, it's still amazing. Not good, amazing, and it's worth your time. So it kind of, watching and hearing everything you guys are saying, it kind of takes it in that, wow, is it that ahead of its time that it's tipped into the next decade, and it's like, yeah, we're still ready. That's kind of like Half-Life level of we're still waiting for the next Half-Life game, like a true Half-Life 3 kind of level. That's impressive. That's impressive.
And they have
Dare I
started.
say it as well?
Okay.
Sorry, Tom. Go on.
No, go ahead.
And like I was just going to say, with Double Fine and Tim Schafer, and obviously they're being part of the Microsoft Studios now. Most of their games are like this. They become some sort of either a cult classic, a complete classic. It's just they make top quality games. And Tim Schafer, even though he, is a bit of a quirky mind, he is a genius man at storytelling. And having them under the banner of the Microsoft Studios, it's a really, really good thing. And Psychonauts is a testament to that.
I think, like, to follow on from that point as well, like, even though like Double Fine is now part of the Xbox Game Studios, is Microsoft and that group of studios are still allowing developers to make the games they want to make. It's not Microsoft going, you know what, you now have to make this type of game. They've gone, you have amazing talent, continue making the games that you know how to make, and we will support and help you with that. It's so I love the fact that they've joined a part of this family, and they've gone, we're still going to make crazy outlandish games that we want to make, that come from the crazy mind of Tim Schafer. And Jack Black's in it.
I was about to say, we've not mentioned Jack Black yet.
I've got to get Jack Black in.
Because of Brutal Legend as well, and how amazing he is in that, it makes sense that he's coming to this one as well, which is wicked.
100%. I want to quickly answer a question that we had from Wookie, which was, if you haven't played Psychonauts the original, what is the rough time to finish it? Obviously, I said it's on Game Pass right now. You can give it a go. I'm having a quick look online just to complete the main story. You're looking at about 12 hours of gameplay, and if you are a completionist, you're looking at about 22 hours complete 100% playtime.
Easy. That's a weekend.
We've got a month before Psychonauts 2 comes out. So yeah, plenty of opportunities to give it a go, give it a play. Play the first one. It does continue on. So yeah, give the first one a go. As much as you don't have to get all the backstory and those bits and pieces, and to get to know these amazing characters, definitely worthwhile. So yeah, around 12 hours for playing the main story.
I really like sometimes going back to those types of games where you have those kind of potato graphics, where nothing's really as like detailed as it once was. Like the old, because Spyro's been remastered, but the old Spyro, I just like to see where it's come from, and it's just so cool. We live in such a cool time where we've seen technology advance, like all four of us, and anybody watching can say they've seen it advance from such a place rapidly. The speed that technology has advanced is crazy, and we're living in it and we're seeing it, and it's sometimes really nice just to go back and just like relive those moments. I sound like, obviously, Psychonauts and whatever, it's doing something to my mind because I'm on this weird train now. But
it's what I like about, very quickly before we kind of finish, is you've talked about obviously seeing the original graphics and doing all those bits and pieces. Is like, you look at Halo 1 as part of the Halo Master Chief Collection, is you can switch back to original graphics or current gen graphics just by pressing a button. And to see the stark difference is phenomenal. But I still will play original Halo in original graphics just for that nostalgia hit. Yeah. And then we're like, oh, actually, this is a really impressive scene. I'm going to switch back into up-to-date ones. So I definitely, I can see where you're coming from.
It's so cool that we can do that. Yeah. Oh, what a time to be alive. What a time to be gaming.
What a time to be alive. But yeah, we've only have a month to wait until Psychonauts 2. As I said, Psychonauts 1 is available on Game Pass now if you're a current subscriber. So yeah, feel free to give it a go. 12 hours to complete if you want to play through the whole story. But we are reaching the end of our stream, and we know Hannah has another stream to do. Hannah, there is your reminder. As requested. So we do have to, unfortunately, skedaddle. But yeah, I want to say a big thank you to Ben and to Matt for joining us to talk through all of this, to go back and relive our memories of platformer games. So gentlemen, thank you very much.
No worries, thank you.
No problem. And guys in chat, thank you very much for joining us on our journey. If you've watched us live, appreciate all your comments and be able to join us. If you're watching on VOD, still put your comments into the chat. We'll still get notified for them. And join in on quickfire questions and relive your memories of platformer games, which would be amazing. But yeah, Hannah, also a big thank you to you as well for joining us.
Thank you, Tom. Thanks for hosting, as always, and keeping us on the straight and narrow.
Trying to. Don't get carried away too often. But guys, thank you very much. And until next time, we will see you then. Catch you later. Bye, guys. Bye.